Welcome back, everyone, to Dr. Polyglot's English podcast, where learning English is easy and natural. My guest today is Stephen.
And I'm Stephen. It is wonderful to spend time with you today, Dr. Polyglot.
Same here, Stephen. How has your day been going so far?
Pretty great, actually. I had quite an eventful morning.
Oh, do tell. What happened?
Well, I dropped by that new cafe down the street, the one with the massive red door.
I know exactly which one you mean. I passed it the other day.
Right, so I decided to try their signature egg sandwich.
And? What's the verdict?
To be completely honest, it was far too salty for my taste.
Yikes, that's a bummer. I was actually thinking about checking it out tomorrow.
Well, if you ask me, their coffee is fantastic, even if the food missed the mark.
Got it. Good tip. Hey, you just used some excellent phrases there, Stephen.
Oh, did I? Which ones?
You used "to be honest" and "if you ask me." Those are perfect for sharing your thoughts. This lines up perfectly with our topic today, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Today, we are diving into how to express opinions in English. It's an essential skill for our friends learning the language because we share our views constantly.
We really do, whether we're debating films, food, or just the weather outside. So, Stephen, what's the simplest starting point?
I'd say the easiest route is just starting with "I think." It's simple and natural. For instance, I think it's a gorgeous day today.
I totally agree. It's incredibly sunny. Now, if you want to sound a bit more confident, you can use "I believe." For example, I believe this is the most effective way to practice English.
That's a strong statement. I love it. But what about when we want to sound polite and not too aggressive? You definitely don't want to come across as bossy.
That's when "I feel like" works wonders. It softens the delivery. Like, "I feel like we should catch a movie later."
Much better than just barking an order. Speaking of movies, how do people normally prompt someone for an opinion?
Usually you'll hear, "What do you think?" or "How do you feel about?" Let's test it out. Stephen, how do you feel about action movies?
Oh, I'm a huge fan. From my perspective, a movie needs fast cars and high stakes to be exciting.
I see your point, but for me, I think a romantic comedy is way more entertaining. Action movies can get a bit dull if there's no real plot.
Fair enough. A solid storyline is key. Look at that. You just used another great phrase. I see your point, but it's vital for keeping discussions friendly, even when you don't see eye to eye. What should someone say if they completely disagree, though?
Instead of bluntly telling a friend, "You're wrong," which can sound a bit rude, you can say, "I'm not so sure about that." Let's try it with food. In my humble opinion, pasta is superior to pizza because of all the variety.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that. Pizza is definitely the king of comfort food.
Well, we can disagree and still be friends. But what if we are in total agreement about something?
I couldn't agree more. Or, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I love that last expression. It means you were just about to say the exact same thing. For example, if you say, "Video games are a great way to stay connected with friends and build teamwork."
I couldn't agree more. It's an awesome way to hang out online, even if some people think it's a waste of time. Giving reasons like that really makes your opinion much stronger.
It truly does. Now, we've covered a lot of casual expressions. What about some professional phrases for a workplace setting or a meeting?
In a business environment, you might want to use "as far as I'm concerned" or "from my perspective." For example, "From my perspective, this project needs a bit more time." It sounds very serious and clear.
Very professional. And what if someone asks for your opinion on something you know absolutely nothing about, like space travel?
That happens. It's always best to be honest. You can just say, to be honest, I don't really have an opinion on that, or I'm not entirely sure. It's much better than making something up.
I completely agree. It's okay not to know everything. Let's look at another topic. Online learning versus a traditional classroom. How do you feel about that?
Well, I see what people mean when they say they prefer a real classroom to meet face-to-face, but personally, I think online learning gives students so much more flexibility and comfort.
That is a very balanced view, Stephen. You managed to look at both sides of the story. Let's do a quick summary of the phrases we practiced today for our listeners.
Good idea. For giving an opinion, we have I think, I believe, in my opinion. Personally, I feel like, to be honest, from my perspective.
I agree. Me too. I couldn't agree more. You took the words right out of my mouth. I see your point, but I'm not so sure about that.
Those are so many fantastic options to make your English sound natural. My ultimate advice is to just pick one of these phrases and try using it today. Don't worry about making mistakes. Even native speakers slip up sometimes. The secret is just to keep talking.
Before we wrap up, I'd love to add one more really important layer to this topic. Stephen, what do you think is the most common mistake people make when expressing opinions in English?
Oh, great question. I think the biggest mistake is being too direct without softening the delivery. Saying something like, "You are wrong," or "That's a bad idea," can really put people off, even if you don't mean it harshly.
Absolutely. In English, especially in social situations, we love to soften things. We call these softening phrases hedges. They help make your opinion sound more polite and open-minded. For example, instead of "this movie is terrible," you might say, "I have to say, I wasn't really feeling this movie."
That's such a clever way to put it. Hedging is like adding a little cushion to your words. And actually, native speakers use hedges all the time without even noticing it.
Exactly. Let me give you a few more examples. Instead of "I hate mornings," you can say, "I'm not really a morning person, to be honest." Or instead of "this plan won't work," try "I'm a little skeptical about this plan, but I'm open to hearing more."
I love that. It keeps the conversation going rather than shutting it down. So the goal isn't just to share your opinion, it's to share it in a way that keeps the dialogue alive.
Perfectly said. Now let's talk about tone, because even the right words can land badly with the wrong tone. Stephen, can you give us an example of how tone changes everything?
Sure. Take the phrase, "That's interesting." If you say it with genuine curiosity, it sounds like a compliment. But if you say it with a flat or sarcastic tone, it can sound like you actually think the opposite. Context and delivery matter just as much as the words themselves.
So true. This is why listening carefully is just as important as speaking. When you're learning English, pay attention to how native speakers adjust their tone depending on who they're talking to. Are they with close friends? With a boss? At a party? The tone shifts each time.
That's a brilliant point. And speaking of different contexts, let's do a quick role play, shall we? I think it really helps our viewers to hear opinion phrases used in real situations.
I love that idea. Okay, let's say we're two colleagues in a meeting and the boss has just proposed moving all team meetings to 7 in the morning. Stephen, you go first.
All right, so from my perspective, I think 7 a.m. might be a little too early for everyone to be at their most productive. I'm not entirely sure it's the best time slot. Might it be worth considering 9 o'clock instead?
See how diplomatic that was? He disagreed, but politely and constructively. Now let me try one. I'd say, in my opinion, starting that early could make it harder for team members with families or long commutes to attend. I feel like a slightly later time might lead to better engagement overall.
Excellent. Notice we both expressed disagreement, but we offered alternatives and framed everything as opinions, not demands. That's the key to professional English communication.
Now, let's try a more casual situation. Imagine we're two friends deciding where to eat dinner. I'll start. Personally, I feel like sushi would be amazing tonight. What do you think?
I see where you're coming from, but if you ask me, I'd really love pizza. I'm just not in the mood for raw fish today, to be honest.
Well said. To everyone watching, try practicing right now in the comments section. Tell us if you prefer pizza or pasta, or share your thoughts on this episode.
If you enjoyed our conversation, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with a friend who is also learning English.
We truly appreciate all your support. It helps us keep creating these lessons for you. Well, it looks like we are coming to the end of today's chat.
Time flies when you're having fun. Catch you next time, my friend.
Goodbye, Stephen, and happy learning to everyone at home.
Bye-bye.